Who is the worst FNCS winner? Bro, it's just gonna be straight violation. That's
to win an FNCS, you are an amazingly good player. However, throughout the 20 FNCS tournaments that have been hosted, there have been some winners who have been a lot worse than the other champs. So today I'm making a fully structured list where I'm counting down.
Wow, Marin don't give a f. My man is going for throats. Jesus Christ, just the worst players to win an FNCS. Holy
the best to worst FNCS winners from
Good
Europe
God.
and East, West, and of course Central.
Wait,
The
best
beauty
to
of
worst?
all of these FNCS champions is that they have different and interesting skill sets that won them the trophy. I'll of course go over all of this, so let's get into it.
Okay.
The best FNCS winner ever is Tayson, having won on 5 separate occasions on the very hardest region of EU, in solos and trios twice, and once alongside Muristache in duos. He is the most well-rounded player to have ever touched the game, and this comes from numerous impressive qualities. The thing is, the very best stat in the world is performing under pressure. This quality was put on display in his most recent FNCS win, where he had to solo clutch a good chunk of points to win it all, playing against none other than Malibuca in the process for the title. Because of Tayson's laser-sharp focus, he was able to clutch enough points to win the entirety of the tournament and take home $200,000 alongside his duo. And although it was close between first and second, Tayson ended the tournament on 605 points.
Yeah, if we're talking FNCS 100%, undoubtedly.
482, making a difference of 123 points. And talking about making a difference, Mero is the second best FNCS winner ever. Mero has, for years now, been the one to show that being a controller player and being at the very peak of competitive play is possible. A lot of people will disagree with me in saying that Mero is the second best player in the world. However, with 6 FNCS wins under his belt, one even being at the FNCS Global Championship, not only playing against North America's best, but the very best players from all around the world.
If we're calling lands FNCS, then this again gets a lot muddier. We'll see. I thought we were doing just online FNCS, because if we start counting lands, then it's like the list changes.
But when I categorize good players, I look at results. And Mero's got close to the most impressive results out of any player. There are 2 main attributes that makes Mero the best. First, how he's able to make something out of even the worst situations, or in other words, how clutch of a player he is. And secondly, Mero is never scared to take major risks if he knows it can win him games. His risk management is arguably the best in the entire world, and as a result of this skill, he has got, in his own words, not 1, but 2, but 3, but 4, but 5
that was such
wins,
a clean line at the land, bro.
Someone who does not have 6 FNCS wins, but won 6 out of 12 games in an FNCS Grands is Veno, the 3rd best FNCS winner. He has won FNCS.
Veno over Booga or Aqua is insane. I'm interested to see how he defends this. Booga over Aqua. Sorry, Veno over Aqua or Booga is kind of crazy. Very interesting take.
Twice, once with Aqua and once with Queasy.
Especially if we're counting lands like World Cup.
Both when it comes to
or Epic Whale even,
and knowing when to be aggressive in endgame situations. Veno has always been someone who has been highly critical of his own as well as his teammates' gameplay, resulting in a lot of improvement over the years. Not only has Veno won 2 FNCSs, but he's also been super close as he has gotten 2nd in Solo All-Stars and 2nd in the 2022 Invitational as well. And talking about the 2022 Invitational, the winner of that tournament, Seti, is up next. Seti has always been
Damn, we got some crazy EU bias coming out. God damn, Marin. Oh my god, the EU bias goes crazy. Okay, all right. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Someone who has been better than most at adapting to different metas and trying out things people wouldn't even think could work.
We are full EU bias right now.
Amongst those, you have using the dub shotgun to get high ground in top tier comp lobbies, and of course also sitting in Storm during the 2022 Invitational to get Storm Surge.
That was a cool strategy in land for sure.
Seti's the GOAT, Cammy undeniably also has the best communication out of any team that has ever played the game. When you watch this duo play, it's literally like watching one player, and how these two understand each other's strengths and weaknesses make them one of the most dynamic duos in all of Fortnite competitive's history.
He did just say earlier in the video though, I am going off placement above all. Then if someone's won more FNCSs, you know what I mean? Like we got people on this list who have won, like, even if you don't want to say 6 on West is like as good as, you know, 2 on EU, but we literally have people with more FNCS wins on that region. So I don't know. It's like, we'll see.
Name that will forever be in Fortnite competitive's history is Mongraal, one of, if not the most.
Huh? What? What the Dude, he won 1 FNCS and didn't make Grands forever after that. Like, I love Mongraal, but like, what? What are we doing? How are we saying placements means everything, but then what? What is happening? Where are we? How did we get here? What is going on? Marin, what is going on in this video?
Influential competitor ever. Mongraal has won FNCS once, and he did so alongside Tayson and Metro in Chapter 2, Season 4. He has an impressive list of incredible qualities. He has by many been considered one of the best mechanical players, both when it comes to building and editing, but also his aim. We all also know how much of a funny person Mongraal is.
Okay, he did make grands again. Okay, sorry, Mongraal made grands again this season, but there was like a 3-year gap in grand finals. My man's won 1 grands and then didn't make a grands for 3 years and then made another grands. Like, again, like, come on. We're talking all-time FNCS here. Come on.
Although sometimes annoying to someone as serious as Tayson, has always come a long way in regards to keeping his teammates' mentality good throughout important tournaments as well. Another period other than Chapter 2 Season 4 where Mongraal absolutely dominated was in Chapter 1 Season X, where he played with Benji and Metro. At this
very
time,
good season, to be fair.
And you could argue that he was the best player in the world. Queasy is a player that could have been a lot higher on
Bro, Marin, come on, man. Other regions exist. How do we put Mero second, but we've just forgotten that NA exists? Like, come on, man. Like, Bugha, 3 FNCS wins, World Cup. Like, we're not, no, okay, no, we're just not gonna, we don't give it, we don't care, okay, we don't care. All right, never mind. Epic Whale, 6 FNCS wins, anyone out, it's fine, it's totally fine.
Said it before in a previous video and I'll say it again. Every player that plays with Queasy becomes incredible. So seeing just how good
Wouldn't we even have Janus higher as well than if we're going to EU bias too? Because my man's won 3 FNCSs on EU, all in different game modes. Like, are we not? No? Okay. Sorry.
Is incredibly difficult in comparison to someone who clutches all the time and puts on a show. Of course, this skill of getting your teammates to an extremely high level to where they're able to play the game your way so that you succeed together without having to
World Cup doesn't count, it's not FNCS. Oh, so we just picked the one land that fits the storyline. Okay, sick.
The best player in the world. As you all know as
well, it's not called an FNCS.
And he was able to accomplish one of the most impressive feats of an in-game leader ever. A 50% win rate in a 12-game Grands on the
FNCS was disgusting performance,
has been around from the very beginning of Fortnite.
The most dominant FNCS win we've ever seen.
With one goal in mind, being the best. And that is something he has accomplished numerous times, putting his skill on display when it really matters. And as a result, he has racked up an impressive $850,000 in earnings. One player that does not need to work super hard is Bugha. Now, don't get me wrong, he has put in his fair share of hours. But if there's one pro player who is made for the game, it's him. Everything from his mouse control to game sense is just flawless. Bugha, of course, being the
7th is
winner,
crazy for Bugha. That is wild.
As he on top of that has 3 FNCS titles. One thing that I have always respected Bugha a lot for is how he's able to understand when something doesn't work. As soon as Bugha understands that a teammate or a strategy is flawed, he doesn't sit around for the bad results to come in before he takes action. He does it.
He snakes that bitch, drops them the night before. I love how he's hyping up like snaking as like a key like reason for his greatness.
This of course has stirred up a little bit of controversy once or twice, but the times he has dropped a teammate or made another major change, it has always worked out for the better.
Very fair.
Is the 8th
there's Janus. Okay, there we go.
One of the most underrated ones.
Did we skip Aqua? Did we not have Aqua in here? Dude, how do we not have Aqua as well? Even if we are EU biased, this list so far has been very interesting.
In solos, which is incredibly impressive. One being trios, and of course, most recently, a duos win with Vidil. Janus is insanely consistent with everything he does, whether it be grinding the game, streaming, or even in-game
qualities is very underrated.
Mechanics and aim. I believe one of the main attributes behind his success is his ability to just never miss shots. In team modes,
winning an FNCS in every game mode is crazy too.
A ton of damage, and in solos, he knows that taking a 50-50 duel will most likely result in him winning. He has also been at the top for an impressively long time and closing in on $1 million in earnings. There's no doubt that he's one of the best to ever do it.
One of the most underrated
player on this list and coming in as the 9th.
Dude, we just jumping straight into the worst. We didn't even talk about Aqua. Okay, damn. All right, well, let's just start slandering. Let's see how we go here. I can't disagree. I probably won't be able to Did he say the worst and then kicked off with Whale?
Today's winner is Epic Whale. Epic has
wait. Sorry, I think I the video. Did we just say the what? Wait.
$1 million in earnings. There's no doubt that he's one of the best to ever do it. The first NA West player on this list.
NA West. I'm sorry. The accent totally f***ed me up. I thought he said now kicking off with the worst players and started with Whale. I was about to lose my mind. I was going to be like this uploaded on April Fools for sure. Okay, never mind. Sorry. The accent got me. My bad.
Coming in as the 9th best FNCS winner is Epic Whale. Epic has secured 6 FNCS wins. He won Gamers 8, and on top of that, he got 3rd in the World Cup solos. If he had performed better when East and West combined into NA Central, I would have put him higher up on this list because of the dominance he has shown competitively, both globally and on his previous home region of NA West.
We just came fourth, though.
An interesting player. He has mastered skills like crosshair placement, free aiming, and his understanding of layering in endgames specifically is top-notch. There's no denying that he is very smart, both in-game and outside of the game. I hope to see Epic keep on playing and improving, as he's been a positive person in the community, and he's been here what seems like forever. Someone who has not been in the scene forever is Quald. He has won 1 FNCS, and he did so alongside Acorn. Quald is widely recognized as one of the most clutch players in the game, doing crazy stuff in both fights and endgames that very few have ever come close to matching. He got his lucky break when Senta gave him a chance, as he needed a duo for the Duos Cash Cup on NA West. It turned out that Quald would go on to perform at an impressive level throughout the tournament.
Yeah,
and
it is hard when Colt only won FNCS with Acorn, and Acorn has another FNCS win on top of him earlier. It's so hard, though, because Cold solo clutching did win them that FNCS, but it's like Acorn got him to endgame. Like, that one's a tough one, but I think this should have just gone Aqua for sure. It's insane we don't have Aqua in this top 10. 2 EU... No, wait, is Aqua 2 or 3 FNCS wins on EU now? It's at least 2, and World Cup win.
First tourney playing together. This was also Quald's first tournament win, and Senta and Quald would continue playing after this. Only 3 weeks later, he would go on to win his first solo Cash Cup, and from there he took the comm scene by storm, winning the next Duos Cash Cup, getting 5th in that season's Grands, and 2nd in the one after. Quald really got given an opportunity and made the absolute most of it, performing incredibly well even under the pressure of the high standard of someone like Senta. And on the topic of high standards, Cammy is next up on my list, as the 11th best FNCS winner ever. Cammy, obviously being Seti's duo, is a phenomenal
in the lane invitational too, because we count invitational too. Yeah,
world, and much like Seti, his comms are top notch. Cammy is someone who's been around for a very long time, and he actually played the majority of his early
when are we gonna mention Aqua? Like, I'm
a massive polished streamer. Cammy was a talent already from day one, placing 64th in his first tournament, the Scallywag Cup, and the placements only got better from there. When we're talking about the best players who has been around for a long time, we also need to talk about Aqua, arguably the best EU player of 2019.
Now I'm worried that he didn't forget about him, but he actually thinks he's 12.
Pros, as he's been struggling a lot with wrist issues. Luckily, he was able to cash in $1.5 million in the World Cup, which has given him a lot of financial freedom in terms of not having to play to earn an income. In addition to his World Cup win, he has managed to secure 2 FNCS titles, once with Stompy and Chinken and once with Veno. Aqua comes and goes a little bit from the competitive scene, but the amazing thing about him is that even when he's been on break for over a year, he's able to come back and instantly start performing insane.
If launch pads are in the meta, my man is like full launch pad. If launch pads are in the meta, like Aqua like just levels up to another level. Like, it's just crazy. He is just full launch pad on hype meta.
Insanely well in tournaments. Merstash is next up, and although he has only won 1 FNCS, I think he's one of the very best players in the world.
I think Mustache is the best fragger in the game right now. In a grand finals lobby.
The best team player in the world. He doesn't have to steal the show and be the hero of the team, but he's someone who's able to do what's necessary in different
now he's got 2 as well.
Whether that be sitting back and supporting his teammates, or being the one going in and taking the 50-50s. This skill set is super unique and makes him a really valuable player for any team. And I'm sure that in the coming years, he'll be able to secure way more
when do we start slandering?
Maybe even 1 or 2 more FNCS titles. And when we're talking about players who have only won 1 FNCS, we also need to talk about Kanada. He won an FNCS Major 3.
Made every single Grands as well, to be fair.
Of course, Kanada is someone who always performs in tournaments, but although his
Akram is also crazy though.
Respectable,
Akram should have come up by now.
The major events. Other than his recent win, he has gone 2nd, 3rd twice, 4th twice, and 5th twice. So needless to say, he is a phenomenal all-around player, and the only reason he is 14th and not higher up is because of his not so great global placements.
Bold take, both Senta and Thomas HD should have been before now. Their placements, I think, outrank a single win. Having 6th seconds, or the amount of Thomas HDs come second, we've taught like 100% that outranks a win. Just saying. If we're gonna count not just wins, Senta and Thomas should have been in by now.
Of 18th in the 2023 Global
Do you have to win one to be in this video?
22nd in the 2022 FNCS
I guess it's
like
the worst FNCS winner. Yeah, okay, fair, fine. Well, if we're mentioning other placements, nah, fine.
Acorn is someone who always performs super well on his home region, but although a relatively good placement
should be Akram then, though.
7th and 13th in the 2 previously mentioned lands, there's still a long way to go for Acorn to be considered one of the absolute best of all time. And because of that, he is the 15th best FNCS winner ever. Going back in time a little bit,
That's it? That's all Acorn gets? Yeah, he's all right. Kind of needs to be less in the... Come on, man. He's won 3. 2 at this point, now 3. Come on. Just fucking...
Also need to talk about Sate. He won the first ever Duos FNCS in the start of 2020 alongside Saf. Sate is an interesting individual and player. His strength was being more structured than most and playing high ground at
my man changed how he played the game.
Highest level possible. Going into the World Cup in 2019,
should have won Worlds.
Almost a year before he won FNCS,
should have won Worlds.
Were favorites by many to win the entire tourney. That says a lot about how highly the community regarded Sate's abilities to perform both under pressure and against other top tier players. As we all know, the Duo World Cup trophy was not lifted by Sate and Saf, but
Heavy
rather
Snipes, man. Rip Heavy Snipes, man.
Still ended with an impressive 4th place and got a great chunk of tournament earnings from this performance as well. He does not play Fortnite any longer, but his name will forever remain in the history of competitive. Circling back to extremely underrated players, Dukes is the 17th best FNCS winner, and unlike both
3 FNCS wins,
Canada, he has not only won 1 FNCS, but he has actually managed to get 3 FNCS wins.
Fair.
The crazy thing about Dukes is that the first time he won FNCS, he was playing with 2 players who, objectively speaking, weren't even close to potential FNCS winners. But although all 3 played pretty good on game day, Dukes was the clear MVP of the trio, having the majority of eliminations, and also nearly all points that were from clutch situations was because of him. Dukes is a phenomenal fighter.
Dude, if you truly believe that Justice and Users were that bad, that Dukes managed to carry 2 people to an FNCS win, you have to have him as like your top 5. Do you know how hard it is to carry a trio FNCS win on E or NA, on any region? But E or NA is insane. Like, dude, what did Justice and Users do? If you guys just didn't watch the other video we just watched from Marin as well, he literally was just like straight up, he carried them to the FNCS win. Like, they did not deserve to even be in Grands, let alone win it. Like, damn. I don't know what Justice and Users did to Marin, but good God.
Because of his world-class mechanics. And I think this attribute is one of the factors behind his continued success competitively. And when talking about fighters, we must mention Unknown Army, the best fighter in the world in Chapter 2, Season 1, which coincidentally also was the season he won FNCS. During this time, aim assist was incredibly broken, as you might remember. But there were millions of control players. However, nobody did it quite like Unknown. He was the best aimer at all the control players in the world. And partially because of his ability to just straight up aimbot everyone. He won FNCS whilst carrying his teammates Stable Ronaldo, Avery, and Kess, which we will get back to later in this video.
Okay, why are we gonna get back to later in this video? Okay, well, we've now got our slander number 2 on the list. We now know who is gonna be on this list. We now know that definitely Justice and Users on this list, and probably Ron. God. Dude, Ron was so... It's fine. I'll talk about Ron later. It's fine. I'll talk about Ron later.
Aim, Unknown had a lively personality. He rarely raged at anything, and all in all, was a top-tier competitor. Chapix is someone who has always kept it a little low-key. Never really focusing too much on social media or making a massive brand for himself.
Makes
he
me
focuses on what he knows best, and that is performing in competitive. Chapix is undeniably the best in trios, as that's where he has gotten both of his FNCS wins. The quality that makes Chapix one of the best to ever do it is how good of an IGL he is. He knows everything there is to know about the game, and has even given really underrated players opportunities to play with him. And because of his expertise, they've been able to succeed at the very peak of professional play as well. Sadly, Chapix is a little on and off when it comes to grinding competitive, but I'm sure if he put his mind to it, he could become a montages champ. If you double that and make it 6, you have the number of FNCS wins this next player has. I'm of course talking about the NA West prodigy Arcrum. Epic Whale, Arcrum, and Rex used to be the most dominant.
I don't think that's right though. Did Arcrum win 6? I thought it was 5.
And a lot of the results
Rex was 5. Arcrum was 6.
Yeah. We're talking about now. Arcrum had the cleanest playstyle.
Arcrum was so good.
Editing wise,
he definitely should have been way higher on this list.
If I had to explain him in one word, it would be consistency. Arcrum rarely messed up anything. Today he is retired from competitive Fortnite, and he has pursued Valorant. He's currently in Radiant, which is the highest rank in the game, but he has not yet been able to find a team to sign for to professionally play. It was only a matter of time before I mentioned Cooper, a promising new talent to the scene, and he has put on a show both when it comes to content and competitively in the last few months. Cooper is one of the absolute best mechanical players in the world, doing things at speeds very few even come close to matching. Much like his duo Mero, Cooper is able to clutch nearly unwinnable situations, and if he stays
excited to see Kanata Cooper this season.
He is someone who can skyrocket up my list and be in contention for one of those top spots. When we're talking about mechanical masterminds, we might as well also talk about Peterbot, the 22nd
I was about to say, if we're doing like single FNCS wins, then
better in global tournaments, there is no doubt that it would have been higher on this list. But every time he plays against the best internationally, he just performs terrible. It sounds harsh, but it is sadly the truth. Of course, this can come from a number of things.
Okay, wait, I'll let him finish his point.
a different setup, loud noise, or simply nervousness. I think Peterbot...
Or being contested. I hate that we're selling this story like Peterbot has never done well on LAN and it's just because he cheats. He's being conned at every LAN. We have so many pros. Bugha has struggled at every LAN since World Cup. Tayson has struggled at every LAN. Literally Mr. #1 on this list has never performed at an international LAN. It doesn't mean they're at LAN. There's just other factors that go into it. Most of the time, they're just contested. They don't get the drop alpha like they used to because other people want to drop on them. But also, where's my boy Muzz? What's happening?
A super bright future ahead, as he's been dropping some insanely impressive high elim wins in this season's solo victory cash cups, and I have high hopes that he one day will be able to succeed.
Come on, we got to get Muzz on here, and Swizzy. Muzz and Swizzy both need to be on here.
Third best FNCS winner, and as the majority of you know, he retired a long time ago. However, for the newer players watching, you might not remember just how good Saf was when they won in Chapter 2 Season 2. Since the very beginning of Fortnite, Saf was recognized as one of the best aimers in the scene, especially when it came to endgame situations. For some reason, when he found himself in endgames, he just didn't miss. In the past few years, he has been enjoying traveling, good food, and he's become pretty good at Valorant, like so many others who have quit. Like, for example, Sexro, the Chapter 1 Season X FNCS champ. He's another player that the new generation of Fortnite
not just FNCS, but bro, we gotta have Muzz and Swizzy in here, right?
He was considered the very best aimer in the world by the majority of the community. He was pulling off impressive clutches left, right, and center with his aim alone, and this was much thanks to an unhealthy Kovacs addiction and having previously played CSGO at a very high level. Because of Sexro's addiction to Kovacs specifically, he sadly got very serious wrist pain and had to take a step back from Fortnite. Nowadays, he is fully focused on streaming, and he's also playing Valorant at the peak of what is possible in that game.
Give me Muzz, give me Swizzy.
That had an incredibly impressive peak is Day. Back in the day, he used to be one of the best fighters in the game, and also being a controller player, he is a role model for many young controller competitors. Day has always been someone who hasn't been scared to take a risk or 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah, I was about to say, hasn't been
risks pay off for him. It is the main attribute that makes him such a phenomenal player. He seemingly is never nervous, and regardless of circumstance, if he sees an opportunity he thinks he will win, he will take it in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, Day has not been placing as good recently. There can be many reasons behind this, but looking at his Twitter, it seems as though he's just focusing on streaming and slowly but surely improving.
He's getting back there though. Day's getting back there.
We'll see a massive comeback in terms of placements in 2024. Someone we will
Commandment should probably be on there too.
In 2024 is Wakey, the Chapter 2 Season 1 FNCS winner on EU.
Wakey? Bro, come on, man. Wakey? Ah, oh, dude, the EU bias goes crazy.
They were underdogs, although all 4 were incredibly good. I think
Muzz has 3 FNCS wins, 1 on NA,
like the vibes were fantastic,
Swizzy's 1 on Asia and EU.
So of course that resulted in a great placement. The main attribute behind Wakey's success is undeniably his aim. And after quitting Fortnite over a year ago, he took his talent for aiming over to Valorant and became #1 on the leaderboards in that game, meaning he reached the very highest rank and managed to perform better than everyone else in his ranked matches, and that resulted in him becoming first place. When we're on the topic of #1s, we might as well also talk a little bit about Mitro, the first place player on the 2018 PR leaderboards. In other words, a true OG. Of course, Mitro didn't go on to win an FNCS before Chapter 2 Season 4, but when he did, he was playing impressively well. The main quality that Mitro brought to the table was his world-class aim and of course his funny personality. Endelix is the 28th best FNCS winner, also being at the peak of his career first place on the PR leaderboards. Endelix has a super high level of game IQ as well as a great set of mechanics. Whether he plays solos, duos, or trios,
even like rate at this point, like come on, man.
Edgy is a team player, unlike—
Get me out of this video right now. We just said edgy. We said edgy when I was already pissed. Are you kidding me? Marin, trying to hurt me, man. You're trying to hurt me. That has to have been deliberate. Oh, okay.
Anyone else. A positive yet competitive personality goes a long way in team game modes, especially.
We hate edgy.
In trios, he was able to get 4 consecutive back-to-back second places, and he recently won
Commandment, Muzz, Swizzy.
We talked about earlier. Edgy is an extremely precise
just get me to the slander, man. Just start hating on some pros so I feel better. Get me to the slander.
Someone who doesn't always have the most precise comms is Hen. He is the 30th best FNCS winner ever, and when he won with Queasy in Chapter 3 Season 1, he had an insane solo clutch to ensure the victory. Hen has always been known as someone with top tier aim. He has so good aim, in fact, that he was able to place third in DreamHack
that
solos
shot was
on NA,
disgusting. That almost looked like Trigger Bot.
using nothing but his aim to perform. Hence, placements sadly have slowed down quite a bit. But if an opportunity ever comes
Rex
for him
has
to play
5
with
as
someone
well. Like, come on, man.
I'm sure he'll make the most out of it. Just like Commandment did when Avery asked him to play duos.
I like Commandment.
Commandment is one of the most criminally underrated players in all of Fortnite.
Agreed.
He has been around since the start and always been super good. However, he does not enjoy doing streams, YouTube videos, or posting anything crazy on Twitter. He's just focused on grinding the game and becoming the best competitor he can be. You gotta respect the man for the grind, as he has over $500,000 in earnings. Someone who might not have $500,000 in earnings from comp is Reet. But let me tell you, the earnings from content is coming in for him. Reet has for a very long time been considered one of the
Avery
best
actually
fighters
as
in the
well.
world.
Honestly, maybe Avery or Jampa.
Makes how good he is even more respectable.
Wait, did Jampa win? No, Jampa never won.
His success is his top tier piece control and of course also his aim. He has won 2 FNCSs, both on NA West, so needless to say, I want to see him win on Central as well. Next up, we have Trulix.
Okay, wait, do we just go, so wait, does the slander, when does the slander start? When do we start saying who didn't deserve to win? When do we get to the slander? Swizzy, okay, so there's some other people in there, but wow. Okay, wait, do we not, so wait, we don't slander people? Oh, so the end is him just mentioning people who like kind of didn't deserve to win. Let's skip to some of the controversy. Okay, I'm seeing a big spike in most replayed around Ron, so let's see what he says about Ron.
Well, turns out it's not too crazy, because although Ronaldo has won 2 tournaments, they were both also in squads FNCS, once in Heats and once in Grand Finals.
Look at the builds though, bro.
Ronaldo is that he is such a great player to have on your team in a squad environment. Someone who can make the mood good and has it in him to be lively even when things aren't going perfectly. Ronaldo is able to set himself up with an insane squad of 2 other crazy players, Avery and Unknown, and Kez, who we'll get back to. Bolts is...
Bro, we literally just said Ron was like comedic relief. Yeah, he's kind of funny. He makes us laugh. Like, bro, he was the IGL, man. He was the Tarpa. Like, yeah, he's playing with Unknown, who literally could just get infinite refreshes. My man was a good Tarpa. Great layers, good decision-making, knew how to get refreshes. He wasn't just sitting there being like, oh, guys, stay in the box. Stay in the box. Like, he's not just making jokes. He's playing. He was IGLing. Like, come on, man. Dude didn't mention a single thing about his ability as a player. It was just his personality. Like, come on. All right, Bolts and Thoric were definitely getting just roasted because it's NA West. I want to hear his take on Justice, because he's roasted Justice in like every video he's made.
He's currently placed 240th on the NA Central PR leaderboards. Justice was the 3rd player on Deuce's team when they won it back in Chapter 2 Season 7. Justice is a control player, and he has it in him to perform super well, as he has actually won a solo Cash Cup alongside his FNCS victory. Hoping for the best in 2024.
Just like names, he plays on controller, he has blonde hair. Just like started mentioning about it. Okay, so he doesn't really flame them as such. What does he say about Kez, since Kez straight up got banned?
And that is Kez. Now, the reason Kez is 2nd worst is because he got banned for full-on cheating. However, it's unsure whether or not he was using these cheats during most parts of his career. Most people I have talked to about this ban has said that he simply did it to get an out from having to play Fortnite. And although that sounds insane, it does make a little bit of sense. Just like Vicaris and Soggies, Kez naturally didn't have any background footage to show for. But according to most, he was...
Dude, that's crazy. He cheated because he wanted to get banned so he didn't have to play anymore? Like, what? I know what? Who said that? Who was that the reason why they think that Kez was cheating or wasn't cheating? All right, where's Calc? I want to hear Calc as well.
Calculator is an interesting individual to say the least. And having played with top players like Macwood and Sexro, it is hard to put him higher on this list, although he also went on to have a good year after they won in 2019, putting up performances like 1st place in solo FNCS Heats, winning a DreamHack with Mero, and also getting a trio Cash Cup win. After Calc got bored of Fortnite, he went to no surprise to anyone, Valorant. And he also was able to easily reach the highest rank in the game, Radiant. Calculator is undeniably a talented gamer, but compared to the others
very
on this list,
person.
he's sadly closer to the bottom than the top. Dropbun.
Okay, let's see. How do we give Reverse? Where's Reverse? How do we say Reverse is 64th when he's won 2 on NA? I need to hear this.
First 2K managed to stay hungry. Even after winning FNCS once, he knew he wanted more, so he went on to win another. Here's the thing with Reverse 2K. Individually, he is not as good as the other players I have mentioned, but the thing he's better at than anyone is finding underrated players to play with, teaching them everything there is to know about competitive, and making them unstoppable individual players. And that is exactly what he did with Mero and Day. Without Mero and Day, there is no chance in the world that Reverse would have won FNCS. These two coupled with his style of playing was a recipe for success.
How are we at 64th?
that there is no chance that Mero and Day would have won FNCS with somebody else either, especially not the first one. So all of these qualities resulted
How is he in 64th then? He took 2 players who had achieved nothing in their careers. Mero was literally a controller player on console like console player like a year earlier. Mero played World Cup in console and made like $100. They were literally nobodies. Picked him up and won FNCS. How does that put him in 64th? Like, he didn't pick up, like, Booga and won, and it's like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, he made... Reverse began slandered his whole career, man. It's fine. It's totally fine.